basic like reveals and um, animations and whatnot. So they'll give you a good idea of how to implement those. And there's also, like, I've only put one Chris Baines Android dev, but there are a lot of Android devs that have their own blogs and post their own articles. So yeah, highly recommend taking a look at those as well. Tutorials and lessons, there are a lot available. Google Code Labs has become actually rather good. If you're looking to learn about Android or Firebase or a bunch of different Google topics, Code Labs is a fantastic resource to start with. Udacity also has a whole bunch of free courses that are available. Although you can pay and get the degree. Maybe you should consider paying if it's been useful. But yeah, excellent quality. There's a lot of Udacity courses that are provided by Googlers themselves, like Android developers themselves. Caster.io is paid. It's similar to Udacity. Again, I haven't actually tried Caster.io, but people keep recommending it, so I figured I'd put it up there. Very high quality videos from very knowledgeable Android devs, and then there's the New Boston Android App Development for Beginners, which again is just a free Android development course on YouTube. Books, there's really only two that I recommend, and the second one I only put down because, again, I see it recommended so often. Busy Coder's Guide to Android Development is by Commonsware, Mark Murphy, who I mentioned earlier. That book, you purchase it, you get all the content, but you also, when purchasing it, you get a 1-year subscription to updates for that book. So it's again not necessarily the best as a beginner book, but as an intermediate or advanced coder, it's a must-have. There are so many amazing resources in that book. So yeah, get that. Otherwise, take a look at the Big Nerd Munch guide. Right. Also, Android Studio plugins. I haven't really spent much time on this, but there are tons of really useful plugins when using Android Studio. Take a look at them. Maybe someday I'll talk about the plugins that I've got installed on my computer. But yeah, the more proficient you become at Android Studio, the more you'll enjoy coding, and the better you'll get at it, because you'll stop struggling to use the tools, and you'll learn how to make the tools do what you want. Resources about resources. Just take a look at that link if you want more details on resources. It's pretty much similar concept to this very talk, except written, and it's got some other links. I also wanted to mention, how do you manage all this information, right? How do you actually keep up with YouTube and Twitter and all these blogs and like everything that goes on? Generally speaking, there's no one solution. It's just a matter of checking up on these sources from time to time. But I have used RSS quite successfully for most purposes related to subscriptions, so that everything comes into one central location. It's easy to manage. And for pretty much everything else, I just create boards. I don't have a lot of time all the time. So whenever I come across an article which I think is interesting, which deserves a bit more attention, I just copy the link and put it in Trello, and keep that reasonably organized. Otherwise, you'll never come back to it and you'll never find anything. But it's an absolutely great way of keeping track of stuff that you want to come back to, or that you need to revisit. There's also conferences like this one, so yay, you're here. Conferences and meetups are also a great way of getting to know like-minded people. When will this end? So it's going to end now. Actually, there is one more thing that I wanted to talk about. The importance of talking to other Android developers and other people. And also related to that is the importance of learning other technologies. If you want to become a really good Android developer, once you've gotten past the sort of advanced topics, the best thing that you can do, or even before you get to the advanced topics, is learn a new language, learn a new technology, learn iOS, learn something else, learn like UI development, like UI design, broaden your understanding, broaden your skills, because it's really important to be specialized, so that people can depend on you, and you're known for something. But without having a good broad understanding of how everything fits together, you're only so useful. And having a good understanding of how other people do things and how other technologies work gives you ideas as to how you can improve your existing knowledge and your existing coding and whatnot. So yeah, talk to other people, check out other technologies, just be open to other ideas. Okay, so that is the end of my talk. Thanks for staying awake. So let's switch this back. Sweet. All right, David. Let's switch over to GDG. Oh yeah, so I'll put the slides up to meet up after this.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so I've kind of done my whole presentation as an Android TV app, just so I can show it while talking about it. So I'm not sure if that will work well or be a train wreck, but let's see how it goes. So I'm Damien Carlin. I work for Market Metro. Recently, we've been doing some work for a company called Disney. Maybe you've heard of them. Working on their streaming video service called Disney Live, and specifically on their Android TV app. So that was an interesting platform to develop for, especially since it was so new when it started. So I kind of thought I'd talk about how developing for Android TV differs from the smartphone or the tablet. So I kind of mentioned to a few of my friends that I was doing this talk, and they all kind of said, "What is Android TV?" I haven't heard of it. Like, okay, so that's probably a good place to start. Is anyone actually developing for Android TV already? No. It's really new, especially in New Zealand. We have to get our devices kind of shipped over from the US. So Android TV is a variant of the Android operating system designed specifically to be run on TVs, as the name suggests. It was designed with a few core concepts in mind. The first one is being casual. So they kind of wanted people to just pick it up easily, be able to turn something on, sit on the couch, that's it. They wanted it to be cinematic. So they want Android TV apps to kind of tell a story with images, sound, really engage the users. and they wanted it to be lightweight, so completely minimalistic, simple to use, easy interface so anyone can use. So that's kind of what Android TV is. If you go and try and find developer videos on developing for Android TV, the type of video that you'll find over here about bringing your apps to Android TV. They kind of talk about changes manifesting, throw it in the store, you've got some Android TV apps. That's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about an actual TV experience and how you go about building specifically Android TV apps. That's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about, and so that kind of brings me to the key difference and how you go about between developing for Android and Android TV apps. That's not what I want to talk about. The difference is hardware. Today I want to talk about TVs don't have touch, and so that kind of brings me to TVs don't have the same and how you go about between developing for Android and Android phones or tablets. That's not what I want to talk about. The difference is hardware. Today I want to talk about TVs don't have touch. That kind of brings me to TVs don't have the same and how you go about between developing for Android. So that means no swipe phones or tablets. That's not what I want to talk about. The difference is hardware. Today I want to talk about TVs don't have TVs don't have the same and how you go about between developing for Android. So that means no swipe phones. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. You also have to keep in mind that today I want to talk about TVs don't have TVs don't have the same and how you go about between developing for Android. So that means no swipe phones. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. You also have to keep in mind that today I want to talk about TVs don't have the same and how you go about between you've got to kind of keep that in mind. So that means no swipe phones. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. You also have to keep in mind that today I want to talk about TVs don't have the same and how you go about between you've got to kind of keep that in mind. So that means no swipe phones. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. You also have to keep in mind that today I want to talk about controls put into your app to really engage users of TV. TVs don't have the same and how you go about between you've got to kind of keep that in mind. So that means no swipe phones. So you kind of have to understand that. Start with scenarios. You also have to keep in mind, as I said, today I want to talk about controls put into your app UI to really engage users of TV. TVs don't have the same and how you go about between you've got to kind of keep that in mind. So that means no swipe phones. So you kind of have to understand that. Start with scenarios. You also have to keep in mind, as I said, provides a bunch of animations and transitions, and also provides you with like, the selection and the animations to make it super clear to a user where they are, what they can do. So this part of my talk is just pulled from the leanback sample library, which is on GitHub. So this kind of shows you a few different customizations of the card view. So these couple are the same. Content front and center. Big juicy images, maybe a little text, just to make sure the user knows exactly where they are. So you can see a few of these examples, imagery, very strong. So then taking a step back from there, these card views, shows one piece of content. But you generally want to show this in like a list or a grid view. So in leanback you kind of get, they give you a row control and a grid control, both with built-in transitions and animations, and both that support D-pad navigation. So this whole screen here is using the leanback UI, and I can easily navigate with the controller. And you can clearly see where I am. And the animations are just amazing. So from there, they kind of give you samples of like an entire row. So a couple of different, say. So then going back further out of the rows, out of the grids, you kind of get this browse fragment, which kind of shows you the menu on the left and then some content on the right, and it takes care of navigating between the two and that clean animation like that. So all of that is what you get out of the box with that. So then say you want to take a look at a specific movie. They give you the details view. So it's kind of big landscapey shot, juicy movie poster, a couple of action buttons, and some description. This is kind of the, I guess it's just the standard details view. Also you can customize it however you want. So this just makes it really nice and clear what I'm doing, where I'm at. And then say you wanted to show some related people in the movie, and then some recommended movies as well. So it gives you a nice, easy way to do that. All of that is just what Leanback gives you for free. So then you also get a video player. I don't think the video actually works. But this is kind of what the video player in Leanback looks like. Big, easy to use controls. You can clearly navigate with the D-pad. Some of the remotes have play pause buttons as well. Like this one right here is the Nexus player, so it's got a play pause button, and that's about it to play that. But then Leanback also has a few animations for this. So when video starts playing, that kind of fades away. It just puts content out there for people to see. So you really just want your content to drive the app. So then we talk about sometimes we have modals or dialogues in our apps. It doesn't work too well on a TV. So Leanback gives you this kind of side menu type dialogue. And then just the animation again, just completely built in. And another so then you may want to couple a couple of those dialogues together into like a wizard. So you can kind of make a couple of selections, make it really obvious to the user that what they're doing. Then you go in here, nice transitions between the options. Really great experience for that kind of option set. And then a settings flyout, which is similar to the dialogues, but a little more specific. So that's cool. That's basically the Leanback library and what kind of controls it gives you out of the box. And then say you want to take your app a little further. You want to integrate a little with the operating system. So there are a few ways to do this in Android TV. One of which is the recommendations row. So hopefully this one works. Yeah. So this is the Android TV home screen. This top row here is recommendations. So any app on Android TV can surface recommendations to the user through the use of this row here. That's really easy to do in your app, and you can kind of push content to the user without it being too in their face. So you can see a few others have kind of done this as well. So as I said, I work on Disney Live. This this was done when in the early days of Leanback. So a few of the things we kind of had to hack in ourselves because they weren't supported in the Leanback library then. But it's come a long way, especially in the last couple of months. So this whole thing is called the browse fragment, and you see it's got a subnav on the left there. Leanback didn't support separate content for these menu items back when we first started, but that's something they've added in the 24 version of the library. So that's pretty cool to see how far they're coming in such a short time. So then another way you can integrate into the OS is this global search. Frozen. So this actually goes into your app's content providers and does a search there and surfaces that content into here in a global manner. And that search is a consistent UI experience throughout the Leanback UI. So it's on the Android home screen. It's recommended to put it in the browse fragments if you use them as well. So it's just another way to integrate, show more of your app's content. So that's a quick run through of Android TV and the Leanback UI. Basically, I kind of like the idea of developing specifically for TV. It's just a great platform to develop for. So yeah, here are a couple of resources on if you want to start looking to develop for Android TV. I highly recommend the design guide. It's a really good outline of the vision that they want with Android TV. They didn't quite have the same vision for Google TV back when they released that, which is potentially why it didn't do so well. And then, yeah, a couple of sample apps. I'll have the code for this one up, but it's based on one of those sample apps almost entirely. Any questions on? Okay. Sorry, what was this question? Yeah, so there's emulators for Android TV that are actually pretty good. The devices that you can get in New Zealand are, I think it's only the Samsung Bravia 4K TVs, which, but yeah, the emulators work really well. This one's actually running the Android. It breaks out the DRM.
Just because I didn't have enough time to bore you guys. Oh, yeah. Just quickly run through the news. good. All right. So we do this every month. Announcements. Does anyone have any projects that they're currently working on? Anything interesting that they've come across? Anything that they want to talk about, or just mention? Anyone like looking for people to collaborate with? Any announcements in general? Oh yeah. And your name is sorry? Daisy. All right. Yeah. So if anyone knows of anyone, or if anyone who is interested in that opportunity, feel free to talk to Daisy. Is it anything like what sort of scale app is it? Are you looking for like a professional designer that can do everything? Right. Right. So this is mobile only? Yeah. And is it like contracting or full time? Okay. Okay. Cool.
Is the lack of experience mobile UI with designers out there? It's an issue that our company as well. Designers that have mobile experience.
Yeah. And it's also quite hard to get someone that's experienced in both Android and iOS. A good, a quality designer is worth their weight in gold, especially if they can integrate well with developers. But yes, good luck. All right, so that's announcements. So moving on to June news. As we were talking about earlier, there's one big announcement over the past month, which is Android Nougat. Yeah, so that's the Android N name. It's the final N name. I was hoping to have some Nougat this time, but maybe next time we can have some. Actually, who doesn't know what Nougat is? Okay, you all know what Nougat is, so it was just me that was a bit weird. Fair enough. Yeah, so we'll try to get something next time.
I'll bring it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, absolutely. It would be very appreciated. So, right, going on to news. This website came out over this past month, which basically, when you go here, it lists all the different OK Google commands that you can do with all the different options. It's not entirely exhaustive, although there are a lot of options there because it's not official. It's not from Google. But this guy has done an amazing job. Of developing this website and making it look great and function really, really well. So if you've ever wondered, just how much you can do with your cell phone, just spend 10 minutes just looking through all the different options that you've got there. Because over the last year or so, especially after getting a smartwatch, using the OK Google commands have been really useful. I've already mentioned in the past with things like cooking timers, just so handy. You just put the pasta into boil and you say, OK Google, set a time for 10 minutes and it'll remind you in 10 minutes. It takes a lot of things off your mind. Things like, OK Google, remind me to pick up the umbrella when I get home. When you get home, it gives you a reminder. That kind of stuff is just really useful, and it's small details, but it lets you relax more and not have to worry about getting things done and what you have to do and that kind of stuff. So yeah, take a look. There's some really interesting fun stuff in there. In particular, it's relevant given that later on this year, Google will be bringing out the Google Home Google Home. Yes. So yeah, they'll continue putting a lot of resources, and it'll just get better and better over time. The other big thing that happened this month was the Android Nougat Developer Preview 4 came out, which has the final APIs. So this is what we're going to have going forward. And in addition to that, because they're final APIs, we can now build and publish apps to production and to Google Play. So in case you want to rush out and get that support from day negative, I don't know, negative 60, because it's probably not going to come out in the next couple of months, then you can do it. It's especially good for people that just want to make sure that their apps are working properly. Right, so there are a bunch of rumors released this month about the 2016 Nexus phones. This came out today. This is it's not an official render. It's a recreation of an official device. So this is what we're currently expecting the Nexus devices to look like. There will be two of them. One of them is rumored to be 5 inches, the other one around 5.5, maybe 5.7. So it'll be slightly smaller than last year's Nexus 5X, perhaps even slightly smaller than the Nexus 5. 5 inches. Anyway, that's generally what they'll both look like, except one will be larger than the other one. In terms of specs, as I mentioned, screen sizes of both those, they're not anticipated to have front-facing speakers, and as usual, the smaller of the two devices will have a 1080 screen, whereas the bigger one will have a 1440. Otherwise, they'll have up-to-date specs, just generally good processors. Actually, that's another rumor that's going around, that they'll both have very similar internal hardware. So as opposed to this year where the Nexus 5X had lower spec hardware, these new Nexus devices are rumored to be the same. So that could make them very popular, although that does have implications in terms of the price, because the 5X is currently quite cheap, whereas if they both have flagship specs, then they'll probably both be expensive. So we'll see how that works out. Google also announced official timelines for Nexus device support, so we no longer have to wonder exactly when our devices will stop being supported and get the next version of Android, except we will still wonder, because these timelines are for the minimum support dates. So Google may choose to extend their support past these dates, but at the very least you can rely on your device being supported up to that date. So check it out if you've got any issues. Like if you wanted to buy a 5X right now, it's probably a really good time, because it'll be supported until it'll get the Android N, and it'll get the next version of Android L, no, O. It'll get O in addition to N that's coming out. So it's probably a really good time to get a 5X or a 6P, because their prices have gone down a bit. In terms of stuff that's coming soon, VLC Library 3.0 is going to support Chromecast. Yay! Google Maps is they're playing around with the ability to add multiple waypoints to your route. So if you want to stop by somewhere on your way down south, or you want to stop by a few places down south, then you'll be able to set different waypoints and rearrange the waypoints. Although there's no confirmation as to whether Google will sort them into the shortest path, which would be amazing. There's also Chromecasts being able to cast Chrome tabs to Hangouts. There was some interesting information available on that, which might be worth looking out for in the future. Paranoid Android ROM is back, apparently, despite this guy's sad face. It's actually pretty happy news. It's similar to CyanogenMod, for those that don't know much about ROMs. It's very small in scope in terms of the supported devices, which are listed down the bottom. but generally speaking, they've got a reputation of producing high quality ROMs. So it's always great to have an alternative to CyanogenMod. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but competition is good and options are good. Maruos was also announced to the public, or at least generally available. It currently only works on a Nexus 5, but basically it allows you to install Debian Linux operating system on your handset and use it as a general phone, but then connect it up to an external monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and run full-blown Linux. So this is something that people have been rumored about, and it's a direction that Windows is pushing heavily towards, and which Google hasn't announced anything officially, but they'd be silly not to pursue this approach, where you can connect your device to a larger screen and be able to be more productive. So basically your phone becomes your portable computer. So if you're interested in Linux, check it out. It does replace Android, but if you do have like a spare Nexus 5 lying around, well worth checking out. Nova Launcher is on sale for 99 cents. If you like launchers, or if you want to try something new, this is arguably the best custom launcher you can get. So yeah, it's like often people say it's one of the easiest purchases you can make, because it provides so many options for customization and it's so well built. So check it out if you're getting a little tired of your stock launcher. There was also news about Bluetooth 5 specification coming out or being announced later this month. And the aim was to get, for low energy transmissions, twice the current range and 4 times the current speed, as well as provide, as they say, significant new functionality for connectionless services. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I suppose we'll find out more as the specification gets completed. Oh yeah, also today Pokemon Go has become available, not globally, but in Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, for once we're the first markets to get a product. So check it out. Yeah.
On the way here, I saw someone standing in front of me at the corner playing it.
Oh really?
It's like tossing Pokeballs into the street because there's a little Pokemon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you enjoyed Ingress or Pokemon or like the idea of augmented reality gaming, check it out. It could be a bit of fun. Thanks for coming. That's all. Yeah,
Sure, I guess it's like screen sharing on Skype.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be. It was a bit odd when I saw it, but I thought it'd be worth it.
With nothing more than that RF, but I'm like, the hell is this stuff? Yeah. That's all I get.
But I mean, more cast support is always good, right?
Yeah, I think today or this past week they announced Chrome will totally get cast baked in now. So you don't even need the extension anymore.
True. How did I miss
So,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
You can have cast for everything.
It'd actually be really interesting because I use Cast all the time for casting my entire screen. But there's been, in particular, VLC doesn't really support Chromecasting. Well, as I said, of course, yeah. Thanks for coming. So yeah, I often cast my entire screen onto the television.
Yeah.
But having it baked into Android. Yeah, just leave them on the table.
I don't know how many of you actually like that.
Oh yeah.
I keep getting those like down the corner.
Yeah. Just bring them back in if you remember. But yeah, so many people just forget to take them off.
So you guys have a meeting every month?
Yeah, once a month. Actually, I should probably start the stream.
instead of the next.